So in Turin, Portugal will be represented by Saudade by Maro. Portugal won quite recently, of course, but will she bring Maro the same success? Let's review it. So Portugal is heading to Turin with Saudade. They come off the back of a pretty successful appearance in Rotterdam. They sent the equally filthy sounding The Black Mamba with Love Is On My Side. It was a song about a little prostitute they met once. It's quite sad, quite sweet. It's a bit of everything. They did quite well with that. They finished in 12th in the grand final, but are we going to see the same sort of success this time around? Let's have a listen to Saudade.
Saudade, saudade. Says it in a better way.
Alrighty then, that was Maro's entry. What do we think of it? Emily, you first.
Well, I don't think we're going to be having more out that success from 2017. For me, last year I was really pleasantly surprised by the Black Man, but I sat there and just thought, oh, isn't this nice? For me, this is kind of like, it's perfectly listenable. I just take no notice of it. It's just kind of background noise for me. It's, if I was playing in a restaurant, I wouldn't think, oh, let's get Shazam out. I'm really enjoying this one. But I equally wouldn't be like, oh, get this off. It's just kind of, for me, it kind of just happens and then it stopped. And, I don't have any particular strong feelings on it. I just kind of find it quite dull. Which is, a shame. But Portugal has always, they have a very strange type of Eurovision entry, I find, because even, things that do well, like in 2017, it's still not necessarily to kind of everyone's taste. There's some stuff where it's very generic that wins, like Arcade. But yeah, Portugal always has a unique kind of sound at Eurovision, which I guess in some ways is good. But for me, this is just kind of, it happens and then it stops. And I am no better and no worse for it. But yeah.
I mean, I've pretty much got to echo exactly what you said, Emily. It exists. And I just don't feel anything about it. To me, she sounds a little bit, and I'm not a vocal expert. I'm not going to say here, I'm not Simon Cowell by any means. To me, she sounds off key. She sounds like it's a voice almost like she's just woken up, and it's a bit croaky. I'm not a big fan of her voice, to be honest. And the song itself, it's just clapping. It looks like some sort of breastfeeding group that have just had their break and have made an entry, Eurovision song. You're a bit like, when you're a brainwashed, completely dead to the world.
You're at toddler group and all the kids have gone off to do something and all the mums are sat there going oh God, we've got 5 minutes to sit back.
Yeah, sit around, let's do Eurovision song. And they're clapping because they've absolutely got no sleep. The kid's been sick on the kitchen sink, and then they've got to wipe that up, and then they only 4 a.m. set bins out, and they're just slightly zombified, and they get onto the Eurovision stage, and they're just there. That's the impression that it gives me, and that's not a good impression. I don't want to be watching a Eurovision entry and thinking they need to sleep. It's not yet really my thing. And as you say, I think your comparison, it's like a song that if you're in a restaurant, you're going to want to know what it is. For me, it's lift music, but it's a lift I want to jump out of. It's just not something I'm particularly want to listen to. It's a shame because Portugal has had some good entries in the past few years, but this ain't it, Portugal. So they are performing 10th in the first semi-final. Are they going to qualify? Where do they sit in our personal rankings? Emily?
For me, whether it gets through, it's very, very, I don't think it will actually. No, I've made up my mind. Because it's coming off the back of Moldova, which is very kind of upbeat. I think it'll kind of just fade. It'll just kind of fall through the cracks in terms of what people remember. And because will have just had another kind of steady pace song that is so much better with the Netherlands, I think it's so forgettable that I'm not 100% sure as to whether it will qualify. I don't know, maybe if Portugal's getting kind of a bit of a better reputation though at Eurovision, so whether maybe its reputation might save it. Yeah, I'm not sure whether it'll get through. Personally, I feel like maybe I've been slightly harsh with my ranking, but it is just because I had so many kind of songs at the bottom of my ranking that I just didn't particularly have a preference as to which one kind of went right near the end. So for me, it's my number 38, which is maybe a bit harsh, but I just don't care for it. So yeah, for me, and it wouldn't make the final, but
I mean, yeah, that does feel a little bit harsh. It's my 26 this year, which I think probably, having said what I've just said, is probably a bit higher than you might be expecting. But I don't hate it. That's the almost the problem. I don't love it. I don't hate it. It just sits there, and that's really on the bubble. So there are only 25 songs in the final this year. So this would not be in ideal world be qualifying for me. I do think it will get through though, because when you read the comments on YouTube videos, when you see it on social media, it does have a backing. People do. There is an audience for this. And my family, when I sort of gave them the little whistle stop tour of Eurovision this year, this is one that they've said, well, actually, I quite like this. And I think if that happens with enough people, it could surprise. I don't see it coming 12th in the final like the Black Mamba. To be fair, I don't think many people saw them coming 12th last year. But I can see this getting through to the final, and I can see it doing fairly well and beating songs that it's worse than. But I wouldn't be too surprised if it shocks us all. So that's what we thought. Saudade. That is what Portugal is offering. That's what we think. Do let us know your thoughts, comment, like, subscribe, share, all the little things. If you can subscribe, make sure you hit the bell to get notified every time we release new content. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.